amazing goddesses, women trailblazers, super successful women from all over the world who not are only committed to attracting their most ideal life, but they are truly committed to living their most epic, amazing love life. So with that being said, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. Today's video is all about how the feminine attracts love. Have you been wondering about the feminine, or have you been studying about the feminine for maybe years, months, etc., but something is not clicking and you're still not attracting your divine counterpart? You want your divine masculine, you want a masculine, high caliber man next to you. Or you're simply curious about how you can learn how to create an oasis in your love life or attract that. It is true that as women, we have been taught in many ways to sometimes fear intimacy, fear connection. But in reality, the realm of intimacy and connection is the realm of the feminine. So today, I am going to share with you part of the mysteries of the feminine. I like to guide women in their journey of reconnecting and embodying not only their feminine energy, but their goddess vibration, and also attract their soulmate. So I'm all about love, and I realize how important it is to be connected to the feminine. If you want to know a little bit more about me before we start, I'm Nicole Elissa. I'm an intuitive love coach. I like to bridge the feminine, like the metaphysical side of the feminine, the spiritual side of the feminine with the physical, because the feminine is an embodiment of something so big, so deep. And part of the issue that's going on is that as women, we're guided to be quote unquote masculine, to attract things in life. And I don't understand it. Like recently I've been really feeling into it. So it's like ladies, let's think about this for a second. How many of you have been taught that you need to be balanced? That you need to master your masculine energy to be in the world. You need to be balanced, or you need to be more masculine. Okay? That is a lie. That is a lie. If you're feminine, you're feminine. If you're masculine, you're masculine. If you're balanced, you're balanced. What matters the most is that you are showing up from your power. Okay? And that is really key, because your essence. So many women are reaching or approaching their feminine energy or their attraction power from an idea that they need to abandon their feminine. When in reality, if you want to attract love and you're truly a feminine woman, your job is to dive in deeper to your feminine energy. If you want to attract love, it's important that you know how the feminine attracts love. So I'm going to share with you today some of the elements that confuse women around attracting love and why you are not successfully attracting the love that you want, I hear, no matter how badass you are currently in your life. The feminine is capable of attraction. The feminine is attraction without needing to become masculine. And when I think about this, I'm going to share with you why I believe this idea is happening. The feminine is attraction. The feminine is power. The feminine is grace. The feminine is harmony. Okay? The feminine represents in many ways the union, the understanding of needing one another and living with one another in harmony. Okay? But how do we bring that metaphysical concept or truth from the ethereal to the physical? How do we bring that? That's our duty, right? That's our responsibility. It's our embodiment. We have to come to peace with our feminine energy and understanding that we are the glue. So oftentimes what happens is you just look at your life as a woman, as a single woman, through the eyes, in many cases, of how your mom lived her life, okay? You are so connected that you want to help your mom. So if you didn't see your mom living her best life, you might have imprinted or taken on an idea that it's not easy for you to get love. See, a lot of mothers or current mothers, what they taught us was survival. They taught us defense mechanisms rather than embodiment of the feminine, rather than embodiment of the union. Part of what happens is, I'm trying to find my best way on how to address this, but stay with me because this is going to be a really important video. Part of the big issue that is happening is the fact that, there's a feminine, there's a masculine, but there's shadow in both. When you don't know how to embody or how to take a spiritual teaching and how to bring it into the physical, you might mess up, okay? So as I was sharing with my clients recently in Goddess of Love and Attraction, how the feminine and how the masculine came together inside of a specific family, like it depended on the household, okay? The shadow of the masculine believes that they need to control the feminine because they believe that the feminine doesn't know better, that they are superior, that they understand more, that in their effort of protection, they need to kind of put women like, not in a cage, but like in a corner, like a doll. And that is a shadow of the masculine, okay? Thinking that they know better than women. Now, women have not necessarily been trained in, this is the piece that's missing. Women have not necessarily, in these households, women have not been necessarily taught to embody the fullness of the goddess. Not a woman that is behind a man, that only serves a man. There's the confusion of that, and also the confusion, of embodying your goddess with what you've currently seen in your life, if you feel like your parents did not embody well the masculine and the feminine, okay? So there's the confusion. The feminine has not been guided into the depths of her own essence, knowing that she's capable of creation. She's creative life force in and of itself. Hello, like we give birth, etc. We have enormous amount of power, all right? So what happens is that as soon as some women that were in negative situations started to break free from those relationships with men that were in their shadow, because this is not the full truth for all families. This has to do with what was happening within the current household, unfortunately. I'm a big believer that we should have a school around love, feminine energy, etc., empowerment, and all those areas. So what happens is that your mom starts to come out of it. She's been sort of taught in a way that she couldn't rely on her feminine energy. And from being fully disconnected from the power of her feminine, what happens is that she believes that she needs to be more masculine now that she's alone, and she needs to figure things out in the world. What happens with you is that you are seeing your mom being maybe more masculine, more about the hustle, that she forgets or she disdains some of the elements of her feminine energy unconsciously without knowing the real power that lies within her. And understanding that she doesn't need to change who she is to attract. She just needs to know more about her feminine essence and embody more of that within her, okay? And that is key because I notice a lot of things happening right now in the world. Women are constantly fighting with their feminine essence, not knowing how to be, feeling like they need to change, they need to shift. And I want you to understand something. This idea that you cannot fully trust your feminine, I don't want to say it that way, but I'm saying what I'm getting. I'm saying it as I'm getting. It's part of the patriarchy, okay? I don't have, how do I say this? I'm not against men. I love men. The feminine loves men, okay? The feminine also knows when the masculine is operating out of shadow or out of ego, out of control, or trying to seek power. A man should never try to control a woman, number one. Now, with that being said, the idea, I want you to see how flawed this idea is. You either have to be balanced or you have to be masculine. And you only look at your feminine as a commodity. You try to connect with your feminine and how to dress well, how to look cute, how to look irresistible. You're seeing your feminine as a commodity, as a sexual object, as a sexual thing, okay? You're disconnecting completely from it because somewhere you're believing that the only way to do life is through the masculine or through being balanced. I want you to see how flawed that idea is. It's flawed to the core. You're trying to be linear when you're anything but linear. The feminine is not linear. You just have not been guided and taught how to properly embody your feminine. The issue lies is that as you're watching videos on YouTube, you're working with coaches and everything, you're still trying to understand the feminine through linear understanding. The feminine is not linear. The feminine has many depths, flows, ebbs and flows. It's mystery itself. Okay? And I keep getting this. Some of you are trying to understand feminine energy through a man. That is something also happening because of the patriarchy, because you've been taught not to trust your feminine or to trust other women. Okay? To wrong your essence, to see your essence in small in some sort of shape or form. The idea that you have to become masculine to survive in the world is exactly that, a survival energy. But let's start to dive into the feminine now and how the feminine attracts love. I'm going to share with you certain gaps that are in the process. How can you go from survival energy, defense mechanism energy, to thriving, flowing, receiving goddess energy? Okay? The reason why you're not attracting an empowered masculine man is because you are at odds with your feminine energy and you're not fully embodying it. You might be embodying, I'm going to say what I'm getting, you might be embodying a meek version of the feminine or an angry version of the feminine, creating a wall. But either or, you're not embodying the goddess, the power, the grace, the magnetism. You need to own your power for that. Okay, hopefully this is resonating. So here's what's happening. The feminine and the masculine, they connect and they serve each other. The feminine stands for love. The masculine stands for freedom, okay? The love, the feminine, the frequency of the feminine is love. That energy fuels the masculine and inspires it with purpose to create things out there for the world, to create, have a life, have a meaning, to create love and build love in the world. The ego makes us fight and separate and believe that, makes believe men that women here are bad or evil, and makes women believe the same thing about men, okay? So out of the shadow of the masculine comes in a man that's trying to control the feminine, right? And out of the shadow of the feminine is a woman that is doing, a bunch of different things. A woman that's scared of her own essence, or a woman that's trying to poison the masculine is what I'm getting, or fight the masculine, okay? But what we truly need to understand is the feminine knows that we're the glue, okay? So when you are embodying feminine energy, really truly feminine energy, you have to embody love and harmony. When you are embodying a frequency of a feminine that is fighting, consistently fighting, somewhere you're believing that you cannot have what you want, full stop, period, okay? Because it's depth, it's not linear. You need to learn how to embody your feminine more before you try to take on causes. Because if you're not clear about what's happening within you and you start trying to fight inequality, which is what a lot of women are doing, and they haven't learned the feminine, they start to reject themselves. You want ultimately more love, right? So the feminine is an embodiment of love and harmony. And what's happening is an intimacy, okay? The feminine understands, I want you to think about Mother Earth. The feminine understands that we need one another. When you look at Mother Earth, we are nurturing community-based environment. That's what the feminine is. You believe in belonging, root chakra, okay? Root chakra. You understand, you believe heaven to earth, like bringing heaven to earth, okay? The love is in the earth. You're bringing higher consciousness to the earth. What's happening is that you've been taught to deny your feminine. So how exactly do you deny your feminine? Why you're not attracting love? A lot of women are operating out of resistance, out of survival mechanisms, out of a fight within herself and her feminine energy, and that's why they're not attracting love, the masculine that they want, because they're not fully trusting their power to attract that high quality man that's going to be of a similar vibration as them. They're just constantly looking at the world to determine whether they can have love or not, and a lot of women are feeling really hopeless. You can lie about it, you can try to put up an armor, but you're kind of waiting to see if you meet somebody that's passive energy. The feminine is like electricity, it's attraction. So what's currently happening in your root chakra, and number one thing that's getting in the way of you attracting from your feminine and how you attract love, is that you have a struggle admitting that you need love. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We say things like, I don't need love, but I would like to have it. Some women say that with a good frequency though. I do want to say, I'm not talking linear, I'm talking energy. I'm talking energy, I'm talking energetic field. Some women have a more acceptance of the energy of love within them. Okay? They do. They really, 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 really do. But others have a huge fight with need. Have a huge fight with need. Love is a need. When we look at the pillar, of needs, love is one. If you are feeling kind of at odds, you're seeing people fighting all the time, like the masculine and feminine fighting all of the time. It's because there's a lack of feminine energy. When I hear things of like the future of the world is feminine, or the future of the world is in the Western woman, whichever that line is, it doesn't mean an invitation to fight more. It's not an invitation to say that the women know more than men. It's not that. And I need you to hear what I'm saying here. When they say that the future of the world is feminine, it means an embodiment of more love, more union. It means to trust your feminine power of attraction, your goddess energy. But if you're constantly fighting, doubting, putting men at a distance, you're not understanding that at a spiritual, etheric, like metaphysical level. You're not getting that. You're not bringing that heaven to earth, because we are the receiving channel. And I need to say this as I need to say it. The future of the world is feminine means more love, an embodiment of love, the feminine trusting her capacity to attract love, to have boundaries, to know how to confidently attract from her feminine. That's what it means. It doesn't mean that men are inequipped, that men are incapable, that men are this, which is what a lot of people are taking with that phrase. So let's start with need. Need. This is important. Why? Because it's your root chakra. When you are saying that you need money in the world, you need water, but you don't need love, what do you think fuels a more positive environment? A more nurturing, caring environment? It is love. When you say things, I don't need love, you're going to get very against the essence of feminine energy. So some women are, like a lot of women are fighting, and I'm being guided to tell you this because I know that you want love. It's just that a lot of women are so confused about their feminine energy because of what I said about like the energy that happened with their moms, okay? So the more women admit that we need love, when you accept something on a level of vibration, you bring it to you. So when people tell you law of attraction stuff, like don't say need, because that's a vibration of lack. No, I'm sorry. I gotta throw some spice to this. Like that's not a vibration of lack. See, what's currently happening is that it depends on how you say it, how you bring it into to your life. A lot of people, like I said, women, they're taught vibration. Like you need to learn outside of you how to, in a linear way, manifest. You need to take X, Y, or Z step. No, the feminine is embodiment. It's not outward steps that you need to take to get something, which is what you're trying to do when it comes to attracting a man. And that's why you're failing at it. Like it's not working. Okay, you're trying to be linear when you're everything but you are embodiment, depth. So what's happening is that you're fighting with your own needs. The feminine is a representation of needs, desires, wants, receiving. It is visceral. It's visceral. So visceral. So the thing is that you're bringing it in, right? And you're making it tangible, and it's coming into this frequency, into this third world, like third dimension world, like physical, okay? So when you say, I don't want to admit need, no, I don't need it, like you're not bringing it in, heaven to earth. Okay, I want you to really get this. When you own a need and you accept it and you make it right, safe, and good for you to have it, delicious for you to have it, you attract more of it in your life. When you are fighting something, you're in resistance to something, the whole way in which this vibration comes to you, or whatever it is that you want, comes to you through resistance and fighting. Okay? Because that's what you're vibrating. That's what you are sending out into the world. So you need to come to terms with this whole energy of need, your root chakra, because root chakra is about belonging, about community, the feminine, safety in the community. It invites the masculine in. It understands the need of the masculine. As I was saying before, Mother Earth is not saying, you know what, we don't need beads anymore. Like, we don't need beads. Like, who needs beads, right? No, everything supports an ecosystem, and it's a form and an energy of gratitude and belonging, where everybody knows their place, that what they're doing, and everybody feels like, I hear queenly or kingly or godly or whatever it is that resonates with you, okay? Because the feminine is at odds with herself, there's a gap in receiving at a metaphysical level, intuitive level, universal level. Women are fighting receiving. They're fighting their power unconsciously, not knowing it, not trusting it, believing that they need to be more masculine or balanced, therefore creating an imbalance in the energy of the universe. Okay? So it is about coming back home, learning more about your feminine. Stop trying to do things in a masculine way. So the embodiment is this. It starts with you acknowledging a need for love. Loving whenever there's a need for something, rather than hating on it, attacking it, shaming it, and wronging it. So what else is happening? And I want you to really see this, because the feminine is also an energy of community and of harmony. A lot of people right now are embodying angry, I hear, goddesses, okay? Fighting goddesses. Why does this happen? A fighting goddess doesn't necessarily have love, okay? Or the love that she wants, like where she's being protected in the way that she truly deserves. I want you to understand something. Fighting energy eventually depletes you. It will eventually lead you to you running on empty, having less than what you desire, right? You cannot fully receive when you're fighting. So you can embody the frequency of having what you want now, trusting in the fact that you are having the masculine, you're attracting the masculine, you are at peace with the masculine, you receive the masculine. You need to lower your walls to attract the masculine. Some women keep fighting men, and that's why they're not attracting love. Now, what's happening? If you're not embodying the safety and the need of the love because you didn't really learn that growing up, what happens is that you start to develop certain coping defense mechanisms, like some coping defense mechanisms are flight, fight, freeze, fawn, okay? So flight is running, like you hide away from your own power, from your own feminine essence. Maybe you run away from being seen, you run away from intimacy, you disconnect, you become super busy. You're like, oh my God, I don't know if I can handle this sort of love thing. I need to wait later. I've been working with a lot of Aquarius women and hide their love. And I notice this a lot from the Aquarius women that I've been working with and then the women that I've been connecting. So yeah, Aquarius, sometimes Taurus as well. So let me go deeper with this. And let me know whatever is resonating with you, because I love to know. I always feel really well from these videos and the things that I hear and I receive from you. So let's see. All right. Flight. Then you have fight, which is, I'm going to leave fight to the last one. You have freeze. So many of you, when you're faced with attracting what you want, you freeze. You shut down. There's a fear of the unknown. Or you stay stuck in time, you don't believe that things are possible, and then you're not moving forward to attract what you want. This is affecting your sense of self-trust and your goddess energy. Fawn, which is very interesting, you tend to overcompensate and overgive. You're not necessarily receiving. You try to get love through I need to put on my glasses. So you try to get love. Let me see if I can read this. How do I read this? Just today, I stood up for myself and told my guy off. He cut out the call, was the feminine or not? Well, if you felt like you needed to tell him off, you did the right thing, So let's see. You did the right thing. I would have to know more also about the situation. Okay. So, but thank you so much for sharing. So you have Fawn, you tend to overcompensate. It's a little bit of a codependent energy whenever you feel fear, okay? So I want you to understand, with these coping defense mechanisms, out of a sense of fear, you either start to run, hide, you start to fight. You need to be right. You need to be confrontational. You're fighting to get what you want. And fawn, you start to overcompensate. You start to overgive. You are afraid of the other person, so you just give. You're not showing up from your grace and from empowerment. You're showing up out of a defense mechanism that you learned probably as a kid, right? When you felt like there was an unconditional love coming your way. You learn your own way of how to walk through the world, but these things are defense mechanisms. Like I said, eventually you're gonna grow tired because you're running on adrenaline, not power, not grace, not deep understanding of your feminine, okay? So what's currently happening, and I wanna say something about this. You know, you learn your defense mechanisms growing up. I, for one, have done a lot of flight, like running, and fighting. I never really like too much of the fighting, but I will use myself an example so that you understand what's happening. These are stress responses, okay, that govern maybe your ideas. They affect your picker, sometimes with men, with love. You think it's intuition, but it's just high levels of adrenaline running through you, which make you kind of defensive, put up walls, and that's why you're not attracting love. The feminine is open. Is harmony. You have to reconnect back to that sense of harmony plus feminine power to attract what you want, because the feminine is always protected. A lot of women go into a masculine energy because they believe that they will not be protected, or they need to protect themselves, but they do not understand that the universe protects them, okay? I know I made a big statement there. If you want to know more, you can work with me, because I want you to connect with your own intuition. First, I help my clients, I help them release emotional blocks that helps consciousness come in so that they can trust their intuitions more and are not running from defense mechanisms that keep them sometimes in a loop. So what's happening is that, for me personally, this fighting energy, you can use your defense mechanisms in a good way, but eventually you will see the ugly shadow side of them and how they can sabotage you. So for example, with the way that I use flight is that in a positive way, when my dad passed away, and somebody told me, Nicole, you need to change things in your love life or else you're gonna attract the same type of relationship that your parents had, that immediately made me run. I was like, I need to run. I need to do whatever it is that I need to do to survive, make it, change it. I used the flight energy to run towards what I wanted. Have I used the flight energy incorrectly? Yes, like avoiding confrontation, avoiding change, fearing a different reality. Then I would hide and I would run in the other side of it. You need to let go of these defense mechanisms to embody more of your feminine. This is one side of embodiment of the feminine that I like to address. So in how it affects your intuition. Sometimes source, your angels, the universe is asking you, hey, love, we are helping you find like your ideal partner, and then you might get an idea and then you don't go for it, okay? You let it go, you don't go for it because you are in fear and you believe that you're alone and you're not attracting and you stop. That's an example. It's not always like your gut response, it's defense mechanism, especially if you didn't see your parents having the love, type of love that you wanted. Then, for example, the fight response. Whenever I would experience certain ideas of the patriarchy of men controlling women, I would fight it. I would be like, no, I don't need that in my life. I'm not gonna allow that in my life, okay? So I would fight BS. In a sense, I wouldn't let it in. But the negative side of the fighting energy, which is I notice a lot of empowered women fall into, and they get stuck in this fighting energy loop, is that they don't accept BS. You know, they're not going to attract a they're not going to accept less than what they deserve, but they're still somewhat fighting in their energy, and then they start fighting their own feminine energy. And you need to reconnect and come back to your feminine, okay? This is really important. Why? Because the feminine, like I said, is a form of, it's an energy of harmonious community and love and nurturing and belonging. You're nurturing. When you're fighting, you're not nurturing. And that's very interesting because you don't need to fight. You don't need to fight. You just need to embody more of your goddess vibration, which is open. Defense mechanism, no matter how high you are up in the ladder, it's not going to attract you the love that you want. Sooner or later, you're going to push the man away. Okay? Because you're fighting. You're not trusting your essence. The feminine is extreme self-trust. Okay? Extreme self-trust and openness. But in order to do that, you have to start working on releasing your defense mechanisms from your mind, from your brain, maybe nervous system, wherever it's at, and learn more about your feminine energy. Because when your energy is clear and it's not defensive, there's space for you to receive wisdom and embody it. Okay? Embody the trust of the feminine. Embody the power of attraction of the feminine. But if you're fighting, if you're hiding, if you're in a fawn energy where you're overgiving, where you are not open to community, you're not open for growth, you're not open to learning, you're not open to being part of something and belonging, which is your root chakra, how do you expect to attract love or even a man that wants to protect you with his own life, for so to speak? Like, how do you want that? You need to own the energy of belonging. That energy of safety, root chakra once again. But your root chakra right now is stressed. It is like, I don't need anything. Root chakra once again. You're fighting needs. You're fighting belonging. You're fighting community. You're fighting receiving. Those are the roots that you're planting. The feminine is not the masculine. We all need each other. And you need to be at peace with your feminine. Not only at peace, but learn how to love its mastery and power and strength and capacity and beauty, radiance. So the way that the feminine attracts is through harmony. Your energy needs to be open for the divine masculine. Your energy. I see some women that are all about like spirituality in a way, which is good. There's actually two sides of the feminine that I notice. Women that are really like in their first chakras, and then they disconnect from the like inner metaphysical wisdom of the feminine. They second guess themselves on that. And then there are other women that are all about like the spirituality, the divine feminine, the divine masculine, all about that kind of stuff, but they're not attracting that love, because they're not working on their lower chakras. They're not feeling safe here, attracting everything on this plane. They speak about the divine masculine like it's something up in the air, but the divine man is here. The divine feminine is here. She brings that energy of heaven to earth, an energy of peace, transcendence to the physical. When you're a high vibrational being, you bring your love, your high frequency, and your honor and your respect wherever is it that you go energetically. Because you understand the reverence, the respect that Mother Earth deserves. So you can either, continue to fight and have your defenses up and your energy up without knowing it, consciously or unconsciously. Or you can work on it so that you can have fun and you can play and you attract and you just bring in more safety and love and nurturing to the world. I highly recommend for you to work on clearing up the defense mechanisms at all the layers that I mentioned. And also, so then you can soak in the feminine. I was guided to share something and I'm about to forget it. What was it? Defense mechanisms. Am I forgetting it really? So I was saying like, I'm trying to remember. So basically like, so you can soak it in. Your energy matters. I don't know why I'm picking up on this. It's like, I'm getting your lower chakras, or the chakras that bring your desires into the physical, right? And it's important for you to clear those defense mechanisms because it makes you more intuitively open to receive the guidance from your angels, from source, from God, from life. Because you're constantly being held. The feminine is not really alone. Okay, the feminine is really not alone. The feminine truly is, you understand a relationship, you understand that the divine masculine wants to serve you. But if you only see things for your like 3D eyes, you might feel alone. I hear us against the world kind of energy. But you need to shift that. How the feminine attracts love is that she loves the masculine. She loves herself first and foremost. She loves her intuition. She's an open channel for love. And she understands that she needs to release those fear-based beliefs that clog up her energy and her receiving centers. And I feel like that's what I was getting. So if you are, this is very interesting because a lot of women are fighting doing the work that they need to do, and they don't realize that in reality, that's their fighting defense mechanism, as I was saying. That's their fighting defense mechanism. And that's how they show up in relationships. They're fighting all of the time. They're fighting themselves, fighting the man, they're fighting their friends, because they're not open, because they're not fully trusting themselves. I've noticed this a lot in several type of clients recently. People I've talking with mentioned this a lot about Taurus and Aquarius fighting their own intuition because they stay more up here, very literal, right? But you need to release these defense mechanisms so that you can feel your own heart and have an open heart and a self-trust so big that you magnetize. I hear with Aquarius women, you have to stop trying to play mind games with men, relationships. I'm getting that it comes from a place of insecurity. So if this is resonating, I notice this, I need to say it. I've seen some women like try to put themselves in a pedestal here, but in reality, they're scared of opening up their hearts. And I noticed this about Aquarius. Like, Aquarius is a very unique sign. I was brought up around Aquarius, like women, family members, like almost all of my family members that live around me and friends are Aquarius. So it's like Aquarius has a very unique mind, right? Like unique. So you put yourself in this pedestal where you're trying to protect yourself because you're not feeling safe to open up your heart, trust that you're enough, trust that you're worthy. I've noticed, and that's like more of like the fighting energy and fleeing, like flight energy, with sometimes Virgo, Pisces, what's the other sign? I hear Gemini, Aries, sometimes Scorpio. There is the fawning energy, extreme sense of loyalty to your mom, that you freeze and you go into fawn and you just try to be loyal to your mom, etc. But then you don't allow yourself to have the love that you want because you're fighting about allowing yourself to have that happiness, okay? Or you become extremely loyal to people that are healing, that are not necessarily the right fit for you, and you try to shower them with your love, trying to get them to shift and heal, but also to see you, and then you stay in that cycle. So I'm getting this message for whoever resonates with the fighting response. I'm beginning to ask you this question. Do people get tired of trying to reach you energetically? Do you keep creating walls, unconsciously or consciously? Are you angry? Because if you're angry, your heart is not open to love. You need to work on that and shifting that energy. Because it's about acceptance, right? It's about acceptance and receiving, not about fighting. You can help to negative causes and situations that you're seeing in the world. You can help. You need to put on your mask first. Because as you're running and you're fighting in the opposite direction, you make yourself unattainable, like unreachable. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not here to convince you, but I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you see that these defense mechanisms make you run on empty, make you shut down your energy. And then when you reconnect with the depth of your feminine, you're filling up. You're reconnecting with the energy of nurturing and protection. And it's a very peaceful energy. Peace, peace, peace all around. I want you to feel at peace about yourself, sovereign, attracting attracting an amazing man, your equal, your match. Learning how to trust your feminine power of attraction. So if you're interested in how I can help you do that, like I said, it's about harmony. You need to stop fighting. Everything that I shared here today is gold. It is about harmony. It's about intuition, not defense mechanism masked as intuition. Okay? It is about openness, receiving, acceptance, and having fun. And if you want to know more about how you can connect with your feminine energy and feel like a goddess of love and attraction, I will help you. My signature program, Goddess of Love and Attraction, the doors are closing really soon. They're closing next week, and I would love for you to join. And we first work on releasing a lot of those defense mechanisms and an energetic level. Oh, that's what I was guided to share. And an energetic level, metaphysical level, soul level, so that when you start to connect more with your feminine energy, consciousness comes in, and then the way that you embody your feminine is going to be unique and irresistible to you. I don't want to teach you feminine energy in a linear way. Your own consciousness, your soul consciousness is going to be able to come in fully, or you're going to be able to explore it more when you stop being so afraid and fighting being feminine in the world. Okay? And learning how to embrace it. So some of you are wondering, but how do you clear that energetically? And what is it that you do? And how is it that I do this? Is it like a meditation? Is it like this? I want you to relax, because your mind is trying to lead this process. Your mind might tell you, oh, if it's a meditation, it might not work because I've done it. No, I don't care how much work you've done. If you're fighting still, then do this work. If you're tired of not getting results, then do this work. Because somewhere there's a gap with you owning your feminine power, and that's what I want to help you with. The embodiment of the feminine. It's that intuitive, spiritual, universal, life force energy of the feminine that I want you to connect with, that is going to be unique to you. So that you have fun and you play and you attract love the way that you want to. So I'm going to be, I think there was a comment here that I didn't read. I'm going to read it. Says, yes, he always treats me and calls me mad and crazy. Before I used to keep quiet, but today I told him off. I called him an idiot, and you calling me mad is inappropriate. That is awesome. That is awesome. You don't go to my Instagram. My Instagram is I am Nicole Elissa, Nicole Nicole Elissa. I did a reel today about that. A man that is trying to control your shine. I'm also going to be doing a video on how to choose men like a goddess, and that's what Goddess of Love and Attraction is all about. It is an acceptance, an energetic acceptance of being accepted. Okay? So women are so at odds with the idea of the masculine accepting them, their full radiance, that they attract sometimes jerks. Or they see a jerk, they're not necessarily attracting the jerk, but they see the jerk and they go like, oh my God, it's always gonna be this way, and then they shut off your energy. I want you to trust your power, magnetism of attraction to attract a high caliber man. That's the vision that I have for you. And I would love to help you. Like I said, Goddess of Love and Attraction, the doors are closing next week. If you're interested, set up an assessment call with me. I'm gonna put the link below. I'm gonna write it here just in case. And I'll talk to you soon. Please let me know in the comment section what you connected with about this video. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Hopefully I know it was helpful. So I can't wait to read your comments. Take care.